So I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourselves, what you guys do, who you guys are, and then I'll get to the questions.
Okay.
You guys first.
I am Stephanie.
I am Chad.
And we are School of Rejecks.
School of Rejecks, that's right. Basically what we consider ourselves are the voice for the unheard. Okay. So what we want to do is, through our comic book and through our actual apparel, we want to basically give kids the voice to be themselves and basically encourage them to do what they want to do in life.
Really cool.
Through our everything.
We're like a creative motivation.
Yeah.
You can
cool.
say. So
cool.
We want to kind of appeal to a genre of different people, different age range. We want to just make sure that we creatively motivate with a whole different variety.
Yeah. No matter the race, gender, sexual orientation, whatever the case may be, we want to motivate them to
be
something.
Different.
Be different. Go beyond their own abilities they never thought of. Well, I grew up loving a couple things. A lot of things that were creative. Michael Jackson, Ninja Turtles, anything with that character, anything in cartoons back then. Ninjas, wrestling, all that stuff. So I grew up liking all that. And I always would think, playing with toys beyond my imagination. And then I also grew up loving sports, which basketball was actually my first love, and then football. And what helped with me with sports is team building. It's not always, you can't always do what you want to do. Also helped me with my attitude. I had a lot of anger towards things. So I always wanted to, either fight or do other stuff that was, causing harm to people. But then when you go into a team activity, it taught me to, that you have to control that. You can't be out there, disappointing your teams because everybody relies on you. So that's where football came in, and I knew I was actually good at the sport. So I actually, worked on my attitude at the same time while working on the sport itself.
Cool.
So yeah, and I did that for a while, played up into college, and during probably my high school into college, I kind of got away from certain things where I love, like wrestling and all that stuff, because I was more so chasing money.
Gotcha.
Because you're always taught that you have to now be an adult, you have to get a job, you have to do this, and that I knew, like midway during college, I was like, I can't do this. So I was studying social work at the time, which was cool because I liked interaction with the people, especially kids at the high school. But I was like, I don't know if this is really for me, because I really wanted to do something more creative. While I'm doing that, I was wearing like a lot of t-shirts at the time because I always thought like, these creative t-shirts kind of fit my personality. So I got, invited to Johnny Cupcake's store, and then all that stuff was pretty much history when it came to Steph and I, which we'll talk about later. But that's pretty much where I got, and I knew one thing I always knew for myself is that I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to wear t-shirts and shorts for the rest of my life while working for myself. And I always wanted to do something where it created a legacy and be creative at the same time. And it was original, something that was like my own idea. Because I always thought that that's how, I wanted to, if I was to die tomorrow, I always wanted to know that I died of doing something of my own, which was pretty different at the time because a lot of people at school didn't think of it like that. But yeah, so that's what pretty much a brief summary of myself.
How about you, Steph?
Okay,
What's a little bit of your...
Chad likes to say more dramatic.
I like to hear it.
I mean, I think it's my childhood alone why Rejects came about and why I feel like it was an initiative of starting a new journey in my life. I don't talk about it in general to a lot of outsiders. I did a little bit in my brief intro.
Okay.
But Chad knows. I had a rough childhood. I had a great childhood. I don't want to make my parents look bad, but it was rough when it came to discipline. It was rough when it came to being creative. Like my mom was greatly supportive, but I think when it came to like my father's aspect, you should get a job that's going to pay. It's going to pay the bills.
Right.
So creativity wasn't his field, which I get. Not everyone's into that genre, but I think once I started to know what I wanted to do as a kid, I was like, all right, I need to figure this out. So what kid's not going to know what they want to do?
Right.
I went through a lot of things in my life where I chose paths that probably weren't very wise. So I went down a alcohol and drinking path. So I got involved with people that I thought were good people. At that time, as he said, you chase something else, I'm chasing something. I'm chasing the rebelness. I'm chasing the I don't want to be that stigma of a person that's going to be following her parents' direction and all that stuff. So I met a lot of interesting people, which helped out at the end of the day. But I ended up meeting Chad in high school. So high school was definitely like, it was not my favorite. I hated high school so much. I hated high school in the sense we grew up in West Hartford. And no hate on West Hartford, but it's just, we are people of color. It was different. We were both involved. We were kind of the outsiders. We were the kids that needed that extra help. But at that time, it doesn't look... We were kind of the dumb kids, we're the kids that needed to, they need that extra help for graduation because their parents weren't there to help them. Because I knew my parents weren't there to help me all the time.
And plus we met in a program called Connections, where it was like, the program itself was an awesome program. It helped you with, your curriculum.
Team building.
Yeah, your team building, your curriculum. Talking, anything with speech, it helped you, be able to, you have 4 teachers, and those 4 teachers would work on you. But you, like what I mean is like you had 26, probably like 25, 26 kids from junior
first period to like 6th period.
Yeah,
we were with them all day.
But there was two classes. You had your sophomore class, you had your junior class. So each class had 26 kids. Yeah. So it was just 4 particular teachers: math, science, English.
They were there with we literally
studies.
were together every day. And the only 2 periods you got were gym, lunch. And then maybe a free period if you got a choice for whatever. But
most of the time, the free period is used as a study hall period.
Yeah, so we didn't really get an opportunity to kind of be involved with the other students. We were the outsiders.
Yeah.
There was another outside school, which was Reach. But we were kind of close to being there. So they were trying to get us away from getting there. So it was it was great, but then also I think it kind of took away from our high school experience. Because we were only with those people. We didn't know how to socially develop that type of public speaking. Right. We weren't able to have a regular English class. We were just always together. We'd have a lot of movie nights, or movie days, which I'm not complaining.
A lot of kids thought you were if you were in that program, you were some type of special needs kids. No, it was it's fun, it's cool.
You guys are the connection.
It's no, we just need to get extra help with this work, and that's fine. No one can sit there and say oh well, I could do this X, Y, and Z, no problem. Everybody has their, they may need extra help in this, and that's what we needed. We need extra help in our work.
It was 2 steps behind from those that were developing for college.
Right.
We were just trying to get the basis of just high school. Right. It was everyone else was ahead because they were getting ready for SATs. For us, it was let's hope that they can get the fundamentals of just algebra, English, all that stuff. So it was harder for us, which it's, right now I'm happy to say that we got the education that we got. We're not super elite.
Right. Because
achievement-wise with
when I left Buckley High, I was C and D's.
Same here.
I was a C and D student and F's too. I wasn't doing well, so it was but I felt at the time at Buckley, I was just getting passed on through. It's just just let them keep going. But then when I went to Conner, the program helped me to understand listen, if you want to do these activities like football and stuff like that, you have to focus on your studies. And with these 4 teachers, they're able to work with you more than the average the other teachers in the other classrooms are able to. So
they were great. Yeah. I loved my English teacher. She made us do an assignment for Hamlet. We had to read Shakespeare.
Right.
I know everyone hated that. But she made us go over the edge with it where you had to develop a soundtrack or do something creative with Hamlet. So I remember, I don't know if you guys remember Fruity Loops. I was obsessed with Fruity Loops. So I made sure to do the whole To Be or Not to Be speech, but I made it into a remix. That was my favorite thing. It was projects that they made us do, even science, our science projects, all that stuff. I think that's a big part of why Rejects went school themed. You know what I mean? We wanted to have that feel of the school vibes so that we can bring, all those kind of contents that we do on YouTube.
And to pay homage to we met at the school. We were able to become friends through that project. She's talking about Hamlet, and that's how we pretty much, the project itself, the English project, Stephanie and I learned that we both had a similar thing that we liked, which was Michael Jackson.
Great,
And through that, we were able to have our conversations of him being creative, his performances, and then it led to, what else you like? And then that's where everything kind of
we would never have been friends. To be honest, I would have never approached a football player because I was very shy. Chad would have never approached a gothic chick or artsy person. So when that team activity was themed and one of them was Michael Jackson, I was shocked to know that he was shocked. I know you were shocked. I remember his face when he was you know about Off the Wall? It's I know about Off the Wall. So it's it was hilarious. All right, so we broke it down. When I think we knew we could break it down, we got that nod in senior year. We're like, oh, hey, Chad.
Yeah.
You know, because in senior year, we were
Yeah.
like let go into
Yeah.
the high school experience. But I was able to be like, oh, hey, Chad, what's up? Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it was,
Right,
we weren't
right.
best friends, but we knew of each other. That's
Yeah.
all the
Gotcha.
connection.
And that's
came.
all you needed right there. Is
Yeah.
just to know of each other and chill. Like, so like, and the cool thing about it was like, here's a person where, when I first came to Connor, I was just like, you know, all right, well, whatever. Like, you knew like some people were gonna be cool with you, some people weren't. I wasn't that kid that always went to the parties. You know, it just wasn't my thing. I was like, fuck, that's not for me. But to know that Stephanie was pretty like a down to earth person, that was pretty cool to know. So he was like, all right, what's up?
I was always the nice girl.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's hilarious.
That's nice.
And so yeah, then you know we always said what's up. Then even though we after high school we kind of went our separate route.
Yeah.
We always said what's up to each other, and that's it pretty much. So.
And then after that's where it carries on. I ended up leaving high school, wanting to work. I did not want to go back to school. I was like, I don't like education. It's not my route. Because I'm not saying that the connection experience wasn't, but I didn't feel fully intelligent enough. That was the feel I had at that time.
Wow.
I didn't feel like I was capable to do what a lot of the outsiders did. So I was like, all right, I'm really good at working. I know I'm really good at 9 to 5. I can do this. So I did numerous rounds of jobs that actually helped rejects in a weird way. So I went from medical to cleaning toilets, postal office, bakery, like a whole list of things that, of course, your parents aren't going to be happy about, but they're hopeful. They're like, okay, maybe this job will last.
Right.
I did not feel like any job made me feel like and you can ask
You
some
weren't
of my friends,
fulfilled
I
by
quit, I'd
any
be like, I
job?
gotta quit.
Wow.
They'd be like, you're gonna quit this one? I was like, I gotta quit. I don't feel comfortable. Or I find some type of excuse because I knew I wanted to do something else. I knew there was a person I needed to find. And I didn't know until then when I wrote up my intro for Rejects that I was like, man, I sold a lot of stuff as a kid. Like, I was a negotiator. I was selling cake. You remember the cakes in the boxes?
Yes.
And you can make easy
Yep,
cakes.
yep.
I cut out every single box of those cakes and I made them into a folder and I told all my aunts, I'll make you the cake for $10. Like, you can ask my aunts and be like, all right, because they thought that direction was hard, like putting the eggs in the oil, but I'm like, I can make all of it. I can frost it. So I sold that.
Hilarious.
Yeah, and I worked for my dad. I was a chicken for a mascot.
Yeah, she did. She has that mascot stuff, which I actually would like to see her wear one time.
It's hot.
It's
hot in that.
It's like a homemade chicken
I
soup.
can show you
like,
video
it was
after
crazy.
me on channel 3 News
Yeah.
on that chicken soup.
It's funny.
So it was just.
It looks crazy.
So
It's
you've
like-
been through a
Yeah,
lot.
I've been through all the gutter jobs,
Right.
but that's good. You appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like I've been in hospice care. Majority of my training has been experience in medical field. I've dealt with patient care. That's where the empathy and the humbleness of this business has to get. You know, we deal with people every day, so I think that's helped me a lot, especially with the talking and the networking.
Gotcha.
So,
In some weird way, like she just said, everything we've done in our past has somewhat brought Rejects here. Like, you know, whether it's the people we met, like you know, and just the jobs itself, it all came together slowly. Like I was just telling you, Hector, like bought the shirts, right? Bought these shirts. I'm like, oh, I got these posters. Okay, well, I'll put them up someday when I move. But now I'm like, oh shoot, got a little office. Okay, like we got a little office. Just put the posters up. Makes sense now. And it's just like, you know, the creativity looking around here is just like, it helps me, motivates me to do something with Rejects, whether it's
Very
like,
cool.
oh, well, you know what? Chucky was a little badass. I add this to, you know, Sarah or Ty or
well,
whatever.
that's how you reached me out. Like I was going to graphic school. And of course, the one school I picked goes into debt. I was like, okay. The one thing, when I found like what I wanted to do was graphic design, visual communication, I was like, cool, this is the best. I was being like one of those teacher pets, printing at Kinko's, not printing at the library. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going to make sure I print out good stuff.
Right.
And then they were like, by the way, Sally Mae said this school's going in debt. I was like, oh, can I get stuck with the school?
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah. I had a project too that was making, you know, graphic shirts, and I always knew because of Johnny Cupcakes, I wanted to do graphic shirts. So I made a pretend project where I made shirts. I posted on my Facebook.
Okay.
This is the wonders of Facebook back then when social media wasn't crazy. But Chad was my friend at the time. We had not communicated in like 4 years, 3 years.
Wow. When was this? Around what year?
Wow, 2000
I want to say 2009.
Yeah.
10.
Okay.
Actually, it was 2009.
Because we graduated 2003.
Yeah,
so
from high
technically,
school.
I think 2007, around that time.
Yeah.
So he had seen me at, and I don't, we you know, back then, we went to the club, and we saw each other at Upper on the Rocks when it was open, and I saw Chad, and it was this crazy Michael Jackson outfit, and he had a Johnny Cupcake shirt, and I was like, you know about Johnny Cupcakes? He's like, yeah, and then that's when I was like, whoa, and of course, us being in the atmosphere that we didn't get to really talk about it until he checked my Facebook out and was like, hey, you do graphic shirts? I was like, I'd like to. So he's like, let's meet up. So we met at the Barnes and Nobles in West Hartford, or I can't say West Hartford because Sulinet will kill me with this because it's really Farmington, not West Hartford. I was like, the location's not the same, but it's where the West Farms Malls is. So we met up and we just started talking about T-shirts, and
that's it.
That was it.
And it's crazy because like we said, going back, that same time Stephanie had seen Johnny Cupcakes, she was like influenced by him. Back in like 2008. She was right 2007 because at 2008 I was influenced when my ex took me to the store, and she took me to the store. I'm like, now remember I was still wearing those graphic shirts, so I was like, damn man, this shit. I saw his theme. I'm like,
is inspiring.
I was like, shit, this is what I want to do. Like I want to do something like this.
So speak a little bit about Johnny Cupcakes for those that don't know.
Okay, we have a special moment with him too.
Are we allowed to curse? Because I've been cursing like crazy.
That's fine.
Johnny Cupcakes, from what I know, I only know of him because my cousin lives in Cambridge, and my cousin was like, you want to check out this store called Johnny Cupcakes? I was like, what's that? I thought it was a bakery. I was like, cool. Right. The minute I walked in that door and I saw that store, I was like, oh my God, this store. You just get so like in shock because he has nostalgic stuff from when we grew up on, and he mixed it with his elements of what he was marketing. So when you can take your brand and use elements of what's around you and what inspired you, but make it your own, I think that's hard. That's tough. Yeah. So it's like when you sample a song. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? You got to make sure you don't make it exactly the same, but you take it to another level where it's yours, but you've made it your own. Because everyone's sampling something. Right. Everyone's using something as an influence. Right. But he did it where he didn't completely copy. He took it where he's like, all right, what am I going to do with this Batman symbol that's going to make it completely different? So that, when I saw that, I was like, well, I couldn't afford a shirt at the time, but on Christmas that month after, my sister bought me my first legitimate Johnny Cupcakes shirt. And I was like, that thing got hold.
So this one influencer, we could say, kind of connected both of you and your passions from back then.
Because there was like a connective theme with it. Like he wasn't just, I'm selling T-shirts. Yeah. Like he was like, there was a story and an experience. Yep. Like that was big on us. When we started to look up Johnny Cupcakes, I understood like, okay, it's an experience. Like he's not trying to just get you to buy a shirt. Yeah. He wants you to remember him, and we remembered him till like
forever. Like it's like a haunted house. They're selling you experience, right? They're selling you that experience that they're gonna scare the crap out you. You're gonna shit your pants, whatever the case may be. You know, but but that experience, you're gonna walk out there like, damn, I really got scared the hell out of it.
Like you're gonna remember those.
Yeah, you're gonna remember those people. You remember that guy that scared you. You remember what you were thinking. Yeah. When I remember exactly the day where my ex took me to an interview for a job out there on Franklin Avenue in Hartford. I went over there. It was like a nonprofit organization. And I went over there, and I was in there for like 3 hours, I want to say. And she kept telling me, listen, the only reason why we're going to Boston because I want to show you this Johnny Cupcake store because I know you're really going to like it. Now, she knew I had a big love for like NERD, all those guys. That was when that whole, I guess people want to say, new nerd movement, music was going out. People were wearing the glasses and stuff like that. Yep. So she knew but I always had love for NERD as a group. So I went over there, and I was like, okay, like, let's see what this Johnny store is about. Batman movie Dark Knight just came out, so everybody was like big on Batman. So I was like, okay, like let's see what this is. Like I love the Batman movie, favorite movie of all time. And I remember she was like, well, they have a Batman theme there, so I was like, all right, let's see what they've got. Went to Johnny's store, and the first shirt he popped out with was the Joker shirt, but I didn't even look at the Joker shirt because I was so in awe of just his store. Like his store itself was just like,
and it's different now. Like I kind of feel sad for those who didn't see it in the beginning because that's the process of it. But to see it now and the development of what happened, we've been watching Johnny Cupcake's process, and it's been so inspiring. Where you're just like, nah, man, it's possible.
You see him like bring his idea, then break it back down, and bring it even more, like bring more even to the
story.
The original idea.
His story is what even made it better when he started to give you guys. It was tough to do this. It was tough to like. Clean your money up. Yep. Be focused on the business part. Like we knew the creative part, but watching him actually, I think when he started to put videos of him saying, guys, like, this was the tough part. When I started this, I focused too much on Johnny and not the business part.
Yeah.
So then I was like, Chad, we need to focus on the business part.
I feel like you guys adapt some of his characteristics, though, in your business, because, like, you guys do the same thing. You guys come up with something, and I was telling Zulinette as well, you guys come up with some creative moments, and then you come back and you come up with something new, you know, and it's just, you guys are relevant with the culture, and that's really neat.
It's tough, but we try.
Yeah, it's definitely tough, because the hardest part is challenging yourself and being original, exactly. Because it's like, okay, like, I don't want to copy this person's idea, but if you ever, like, I'm reading, like, the Questlove book, and he's 100% right. Like, if you guys don't read the book, if you guys want to read a creative book, read Questlove book. Questlove? Creative Quest.
Creative Quest by
Questlove.
It's like his third time reading it, or third or fourth time?
I've been, like, going over that book. It's awesome.
I'm more TED Talks. Like, I always tell Chad, look, watch this TED Talk. He's the reader. I'm more of the visual.
The
visuals. I love video.
But it's awesome. It's like, he talks about how most of the ideas we always try to do is always offer someone else's idea, then you make it your original. So that's the part where we're trying to learn is, like, you know, whether you like it or not, like, your idea was already thought of and done, but how can you make it your own? So it's just like, oh, okay, I see what you're talking about, Quest. I get it.
Okay. Yeah.
But
so Johnny Cupcake, we got inspired by that. So then Chad and me were like, all right, what are we gonna do? We want to sell T-shirts, but what are we gonna do?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, how are we gonna do? So then
because anybody can sell T-shirts. Anybody can sell T-shirts. You make your profit. You can become a little trend, but then trends are here today, gone tomorrow, and that's what we did not want.
We wanted a legacy.
Yep.
We had some people on the sides that we were going to be involved with, but, you know, unfortunately,
it just didn't work out.
But we always take in consideration that those people helped us and kept, you know, it pushed us to be like, all right, we lost people, we got to keep doing this. It was just me and Chad. Because
it's very easy to get in that. And it was a time where, like, I went with myself. I was
like,
man, like, this sucks, because you invite people to come in and you're like, no, and it's like, okay, how are we really going to do this? And it got to a point where Steph and I was just like, it's just us two.
Yeah.
We have the same mentality when it comes to
but we did.
Yeah. We had the same mentality. You know, we had the same creative ideas. You know, we wanted to bring it to the table. And plus we were like, you know, what company, I mean, I know of from top of the head, but what company has a Hispanic female and African American male? You know,
plus
that feels right.
And a muscle dude. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you don't see, when people see us,
very
they don't see a
exactly.
They don't see a partnership like us. They're like, what?
Yeah.
What? Like, I don't get it. And then, like, we know we can connect in the sense of business wise and what we're trying to come up with. Like, even I'm shocked by continuing something and having consistency, because from what I know, from how I grew up, my consistency level was never at its peak. Like, I could never finish something. Like, I did cakes and then I was like, nah. I did drawing and then I was like, nah. Because I was not, confident into what I was giving. But something with Rejects kind of molded it all together where I could literally do everything I want to do with just the brand.
That's dope.
So, yeah. Even Chad.
Yeah.
Like,
that's dope. Yeah, man. Like,
I know he can write.
Yeah.
He writes a comic book. Yeah. Like, I was like, oh, we're going to do comic books? But I am terrible at my grammar. Like, I have terrible grammar.
Stephanie knows, like, we had this conversation, too, like, the other day. Like, one of the things that we love about it is people be like, well, Stephanie does this, but what do you do, Chad? Or Chad does this, what do you do, Stephanie? So we sit back and we're like, oh, okay, that's what you really thought. Okay, cool. Like, we prove ourselves wrong.
They're like, wait, you guys. So I was like, yeah, I don't write the comic book. Yeah. I assist and we give each other ideas, but Chad's the writer of this comic book, and Matt is the person to help assist. But I would never want to take away credit for something. Like, we of course both have different things that we do, but we both assist each other on helping. Like, with the caption, I'm gonna only bring this as an example. I hate doing the captions for Rejects because I have terrible grammar. Chad's just like, all right, send it to me, I'll rewrite it. And he knows with the pictures. So at least we have that team effort where it's like, all right, we can help each other. Teaching each other the apps or anything like that.
And
so
same thing goes with, like, the video editing, anything with technology piece. Like, I'm at a 5. Steph is at a 15. So it's just like, really, like, it's like you have to really, you learn with partnership, you have to know your limits. Doesn't mean you can't stop trying to learn, but you have to know your limits. So it's like, for instance, I'll be like, okay, Steph, like, I don't know this, but can you at least teach me how to color in the actual comic book?
That was a great moment. Like, Chad just teaching him as you guys know, we have a black and white comic book, but we wanted to kind of promote with color. And Matt was like, all right, you guys do it, because, you know, it costs money to do color. Matt's, but anyway, so Chad was like, I want to try to do this. I was like, all right, let me get a graphic tablet. are you sure you want to do it? He's like, yeah. So then I taught him, and I swear to you guys, like in like maybe a week, Chad gave me like a whole color.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I was really, really proud because when you get to know Chad, and when we started this, I was like, whoa. I was like, you learn technology all by yourself. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So then I knew we were going to grow as partners. Because even his learning social media, Chad had no clue.
Right.
I was rocking. I wasn't really big into social media.
He hated it.
Like, I wasn't.
He was like, nah, I don't want to share anything. I was like, but Chad, nah, I'm not sharing. I was like, all right, well then I'll just do it.
And this is just, but now it's like, okay, now you see me on
he's
my
like, yo,
Insta
Steph,
Snap.
can you make this happen?
Yeah.
Can you make like the glowing effect? I'm like, Chad, give me some time. He's like, no, but can you make us pop and the moon pop? And I'm like, all right, Chad.
I will definitely say, like, Rejects has helped me boost my confidence with the social media
Very
piece.
cool.
Yeah, because I was just like no, this is me. You don't need to know about me. I know about myself. But now it's like, okay, I'll share it. Now I'm sharing all the time. You see on my personal Rejects, whatever. Share it all the time.
Chad shares everything. Like, Chad, no one needs to know what you ate.
But
it's like, no, Steph, it's about the process.
It's
I'm
about
like, all right, I respect it. I respect it.
It's like document it. Okay.
Which we learned. Which not only Johnny Cupcakes helped us a lot. Gary V.
When
I introduced Chad to Gary V,
Gary Vaynerchuk, definitely.
It had when it came to social media and documenting, it blew my. I was like, Chad, you got to do more with this. Like, in a weird way, you don't want to live that lifestyle where you're always on social media, but we live in a time where this right here is social media. And Gary Vee's right. This is our new television. Like, this is our new everything.
Yeah.
So
this is the television. This right here, you seeing me in person, this is almost becoming a rare. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people feel like they could relate to someone just off the phone. Right. But you have to actually sit down and meet the person. Like, we known you for about almost, 3 years now. Right. Got to know you, got to talk to you, got to chill with you.
And it was kind of like the first
interview. Exactly.
First interaction. The first moment to, like, interact with you creatively, Rejects wise. Like, you're entering our world, which is something we don't really let a lot of people come into our domain, but I think we both are like, all right, it's time to up our level. Now it's time to kind of like bring people in, network more. So
and this is all experience that we're learning right off the rip, and we're doing much better. I mean, if you've seen us before, we were just like ideas.
We weren't bad, but I think, like I said, it was a whole new partnership, new female male. It was a whole new like personal experience. It was a whole new. It was all had to kind of go through it to be like, all right, so this is what we're gonna be doing for the rest of our lives.
Cool. Because we're learning this is a relationship. This is basically it's a relationship, and through partnership, you learn like, Steph and I have become friends more so now with the Rejects business over the years. Like we were friends in high school, but this is really made us become friends.
Family.
Yeah. And then plus you also too, you have to realize like your family, then his family, you have to also put in there money. Money, relationships, all that stuff comes into play. So now you have to know when to dissect it. Yeah, you have to dissect it. Okay, this is friendship time. This is Rejects time. This is your own personal space time.
I definitely want to go into that a little bit. Let me go. We're gonna go on a quick commercial break. Okay. We don't have commercials, but we're gonna go ahead and stop it. You don't know. You gotta check out what that's about. All right. So we're gonna stop it now. We'll talk to you soon.